Are you struggling to wrap your mind around your financial life? Keys to the Coin with Dr. Paul Etienne is the podcast you need. We'll help you gain confidence in every coin through engaging discussions and financial know-how. Improve your financial literacy, become independent and debt-free, and learn more about the opportunities around you. From stock market investments to real estate and retirement funds, the possibilities are endless. Visit madbu.com and download our app, MadBoo Max, on both Android and iPhone's app stores.
Welcome to Keys to the Coin. Welcome again to a new episode. Today we have a special guest with us. We have Sophia Louis. She is a mortgage loan originator, and the title of today's episode is Mortgage Does Matter. And before we go further into this episode, I'm gonna ask Sophia to go ahead and introduce herself. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Sophia Louis. I am a loan officer with Loan Depot. And yeah, if you need to purchase a home, if you need to get pre-approved to get a mortgage, I'm your girl.
There you go. Thank you again for joining us today. And to start this episode, we're going to do what we call an icebreaker. So our icebreaker today is going to help our listeners and viewers to get to know you a little bit better. All right. So what would your dream house be like?
Oh, my dream house would definitely be in South Florida because I love it here. My dream house would be, the decorations would be more of a minimalistic type of vibe. I do like darker aesthetics. A lot of people are into the nudes and the whites. I'm into the nudes too, but I like a darker aesthetic. My home would be very spacious with lots of storage because I have been told that I am a hoarder, but I'm not. I like to collect things. So lots of storage, lots of space, a very nice closet in South Florida. Modern. We'll get there.
Okay. Nice. Sounds like my dream house too.
Right?
I do like dark colors, yes, and a lot of space. I don't like crowded places. So.
Yes.
Awesome. And can you tell our listeners a little bit about how you got started into mortgage?
Sure. So I got into mortgage because when we were purchasing our house, myself and my husband, we didn't know our loan officer. A lot of things that we did, we went through a realtor who was awesome. And so when my brother was purchasing his house, he was in touch with his loan officer. She was very involved with him. And I thought, oh my God, we made a very important decision and we didn't know what we were doing. So I want to become a loan officer, and I also want to be very present in my transaction. So normally you hear about the realtors, but you don't hear about the loan officers. But if anything, we are as important, if not more important, than the realtors, because we handle the money, you know?
That's right. And this season, we're talking about real estate, we're talking about mortgages, we're talking about investment, entrepreneurship. So we want to make sure that we educate our listeners, right? Remember, you were buying a house and you didn't know all the details. So we have a lot of people who are interested in doing those things, but they don't have the details or the means to do so. So which is why we put that podcast together so we can bring that information to help our listeners stay informed and make the best decision when it comes to that. And I'm very glad that she said, everybody knows a realtor, but they don't know a mortgage originator, which a lot of people know or think they're the same person. Can you tell our listeners what's the difference between a real estate sales associate or a realtor and a mortgage loan originator?
Okay, well, plain and simple. The realtor finds you the house. The loan officer or the mortgage broker gives you the loan.
There you go.
So realtor, house, loan officer, loan originator, or mortgage broker is the money.
It's the money. That's what you
That's
need for
it.
the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what process does a person goes through to go to qualify or to buy a house, from start to finish? Can you detail the step for our listeners so they know where to start, what to have ready for the process, and where that leads to?
Yeah, so the first step is to get pre-approved. Even before you find a realtor, you have to get pre-approved. And normally, if you are a W-2 recipient, you need 2 years W-2s, you need 30 days most recent pay stubs, and you also need your ID. That's all you need to begin. And after you get pre-approved, you can start shopping for the home. And after you find the home, you go under contract. And that's when the real work begins, because that's when you start the process of getting the final pre-approval so you can go to the closing table. So as I am saying these steps, they might sound like 1, 2, 3, which it is for some people. But you have, everything together. But honestly, that's it really. And I would say as simple as it can be: get pre-approved, start shopping, get under contract, and that's when the process begins to get a final approval and to get a clear to close. And as you know, on closing day, you get the keys to your house. So it's really a matter of getting prepared is what is more important. If you're prepared, if you have all of it together, then you're good to go.
I mean, it's funny how things have changed. We know the real estate market has changed tremendously in the past 2 years. Now, people don't even talk about pre-qualification letters anymore, because nobody will show you a house unless you have a pre-approval letter. Because like a few years back, you could just show up with a pre-qual letter, which, can you tell? I mean, I know they don't use that anymore, or maybe it will come back later. Can you tell us what's the difference between a pre-qualification letter and a pre-approval letter?
For sure. So like a pre-qualification is me speaking to a client. Oh, okay, you make $5,000 a month. Okay, your credit is this, so you could be qualified for this amount. So it's not really solidified by verifying documents, which I don't blame them. I mean, I'm not a realtor, but if I was a realtor, I think that, to get to really be sure that you are qualified for the home that we are looking at, and to make sure that I'm not wasting your time or my time, I would definitely make sure that you have a pre-approval letter. And for me personally, what I do is that I take my pre-approvals a step further, where I send them down to underwriting for an initial review. So my pre-approval, if you get a pre-approval from me, unless you messed up, we're going to the closing table, because my pre-approvals are backed by an underwriter. And as you know, we could give you a pre-approval and maybe we calculated some type of overtime or a bonus that you have not been getting for 2 years. And after you get under contract, the underwriter can say, oh no, we can't use this bonus, or we can't use this overtime because you have not been getting it for 2 years. So now you can afford the home that you are under contract for. But if I send the pre-approval, at the beginning of the process, then we know the underwriter can confirm my income calculations and everything else that they need to look at.
Interesting.
Yes, I know I went a little left. It's a lot.
Oh, no, that's good, because some people think like once they get the pre-approval letter, they are good to go. But there's still that possibility that if something was miscalculated, that you may get denied even after being pre-approved.
I mean, because there are things that you can do to ruin the pre-approval. It's funny that we talk about this, because I have a video coming up about things that can ruin your pre-approval. But there are things that can definitely ruin it.
Things can go wrong.
Yes.
So which states do you serve? Like, is it just Florida?
Yes. So I serve Florida, the whole state of Florida, and Georgia.
In Georgia. Okay. Do you
Yes.
know of any programs that are out there that can help people buy a house, like that, some subsidies or some what do you call those things? Loan assistance program that are available to everybody? Anything that
For
you know?
sure. For sure. Like in Florida and in Georgia, there are a lot of down payment assistance programs.
Mhm.
They do have their own guidelines, apart from the FHA or conventional guidelines. So a lot of people think, it is my rightful rights to just, get a first time home buyers program, but you have to be qualified for them. You're not automatically qualified for them because you're a first time home buyer. So it really is about meeting those guidelines. And yeah, there are lots of programs.
Okay. Now,
Mhm.
as a professional, how
Mhm.
has your point of view of home ownership changed from before you get into the mortgage business to now? How has that changed?
Um, how has it changed? Well, it has changed tremendously. And I think that now that I'm in the business, I
Mhm.
know how ignorant I was. And so when I'm talking to my clients, when I'm helping someone, I try to be more compassionate because I remember how I knew nothing. I remember how I was purchasing a home and I was like, oh, okay, whatever it is. And whatever they tell me to do, I'll do. So now that my point of view have changed, it shows me that a lot of things that can be a little complicated, to try to simplify them and to explain them in plain English to my clients. So it has helped me to be more compassionate. It has also shown me how there are so many opportunities and so many wealth building opportunities in real estate. So yeah.
Okay. So when is the good time? Because we're seeing that rents have skyrocketed like in the past few months. Some
Mhm.
people are saying that their rents have doubled. When is the good time for someone to buy a house?
The best time to buy a home is the time that you find the home that you love and you can afford,
Okay.
because the rate is temporary. You can always refinance. Can you afford the monthly mortgage?
Hmm.
And do you have a stable job? And do you like the home?
So once you have the answer to those things, then it's time to go and get the
A
house.
go. It's a go. Yeah, because the interest rate you can always refinance.
Mhm.
We never know when the interest rates is, where it's going, when it's going to decrease. So it's really a matter of being able to know that you can afford it and loving the home that you in. And if you're going to be in the home for the next 4 or 5 years, then it's worth it.
I know a
The
lot
money.
of people are really getting scared now that interest rates are going up.
Mhm.
What can you tell people to pretty much calm their nerves so they don't give up in the process just because interest rates are going up? I mean, I know you just
Well,
said interest rates are temporary, but like,
of course.
what if they get, let's say they get at 5 or 6% now? What would be the next step for them so they don't get stuck with that?
Well, the average interest rate is an 8%.
Oh, yeah.
The historical average interest rate is an 8%. So the 2% were not normal. We just got spoiled. That's just what it is. The 2% were not normal. So 5%, it is higher than 2%. Don't get me wrong. But
Mhm.
at the same time, it's not, again, experts has said that we can expect for the interest rates to go back down to 2023, 2024. Well, we can only hope that they do. And at that point, you can refinance. But again, 5% it's not high. If anything, my husband and we purchased back in 2016, 2015. Our
Mhm.
interest rate was I believe 4.5, 4.6. And at that point, we thought that we got a really good deal.
Mm.
So 2% was not normal. We got spoiled.
We did, and I think most people don't know that, but interest rates, I think, was like the highest in the 80s. We're talking about double digits, almost like 18.
And people were buying.
And people were buying. And I'm a
Mm-hmm.
realtor, right? So I get people that come to me and say, they're interested, they want to buy a house, but, interest rates are too high. I'm like, yes, it is too high. I tell them, I give them the spiel, like you mentioned, it's temporary. But what I tell them is, you're worrying about 5-6% now, but you're paying 100% interest when you're
100%.
renting.
You're renting.
So if you were to compare, there's no comparison. If you're owning, you could pay 5-6% and then refinance that, when things starts going down. But if you're not a homeowner, you're paying 100% interest.
100%.
So that itself should be, should allow you to make a decision and purchase a home and start building
equity.
Pretty much equity.
Well, yes, I agree.
So how do you get your clients? How do you get your customers? And how can our listeners reach you if they are interested in getting pre-approved for a mortgage?
So how do I get my clients? God sent them. Honestly, well, my clients really are aligned with me. I like to believe that the client that belongs, because I know what I bring to the table. I know how, what my heart is, how I want to help my clients. So my clients are definitely aligned with me and God has opened doors. But I have to put in some work, right? So what I do is that I create relationships. Whether it is with my realtors, it's a partnership and I want it to be mutually beneficial. I want you to know that I will take good care of your client. I will make you look good. That's what it is. And for my clients, I want the best for you. I am going to be, transparent. I am going to be compassionate because I understand that you have a life outside of, buying a home. But at the same time, we have deadlines, we have things to do, we have things to get done, documents to submit. So, I just make sure that I work with my clients and we also build relationships and and I also treat my clients as if they're making the biggest and the best decision in their lives because they really are, so I treat it as such. So that's how I get my clients. And if someone wants to reach out to me, they can get on my Instagram. I'm really active on there. It is Sophia, Sophia C Louis, Louis. So that's my first name, middle name, and last name, Sophia C Louis, on IG. And it's the same for Facebook as well.
Okay. We will post a link of your social media handles in the description. This is going to be on IG and also on YouTube and on wherever you get your podcast. You'll be able to find a link to connect directly to Sophia in case you have questions or in case you need a pre-approval letter. That's the right person to help you with that right now. And we can see, I think there's a new study that came out recently, I think it was last week, showing 1 out of 7 homes currently have a price reduction. And I know a lot of people have been praying for a crash, which, I don't know if it's going to benefit them. But do you think there's a crash coming right now for the real estate market?
Experts are saying no. So I'm believing that. They're saying no, they're not going to be any crashes. And remember back in 07, 08, they were just giving out mortgages. They were just giving out mortgages. They didn't do their due diligence, so it's definitely different from now. If you have purchased a home within the last, I would say, month or so, you know what you have to go through to show your ability to purchase a home. So we are doing our due diligence. We are making sure that there is a likelihood of continuation in your income, which they didn't do. A lot of income was stated back then. And back in the days as well, they had a lot of adjustable rate mortgages. Not to say that they're bad, but it was not as regulated as it is now. So there was a lot of, I would say, reasons why we had the crash back then. And I think we learned from them and we have made better choices. So experts are saying, no, they're not going to be one. And actually inventory is low. Although the price reduction, what it's doing right now is balancing itself out instead of, I would say, crashing. Yeah.
So, another thing we wanted to talk about is refinancing, right?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people are sitting on a lot of equity, and some of them don't know it. Some know it, but don't know how to tap into that. And there are a lot of other factors that play in consideration when you're looking into refinancing. I think recently we saw how Wells Fargo denied more than 50% of African Americans or Black or Blacks that apply for refinance. So what is a refinance and what are the different types and how can people benefit from it?
Okay. So, yes, there's a lot going on right now with Wells Fargo. We're not going to get into that, but there are two types of refinance. There are many types. So you can refinance to change your terms, meaning that you can change from a 30 years to a 15-year mortgage. You can refinance to possibly change your interest rate. So those are term refinancing. The reason why you're refinancing is because you want to change the terms of your mortgage. But then you can also do a refinance for cash out. So when you refinance and take the cash out is when you actually are utilizing your equity to pull money out of your home. Yeah. So those are the different types. So you can refinance for terms, to change your terms, or to get cash out.
And is the refinance process the same as getting a new loan, or how are those two processes different?
I mean, you do still need the same documents, but it is a lot easier. It is a lot quicker. We can do a refinance in 2 weeks. So it really contingent on appraisal. So it is a lot easier. But to actually know how much equity you have, we do need to do an appraisal, of course. And you just need to contact a mortgage loan originator or a mortgage broker in order to start the process.
Okay. So, in this episode, we're talking about both real estate investing and also entrepreneurship. As you put a lot of content out there, promoting your business. When you first got started, did you have a mentor? Did you have someone guiding you step by step so you can be where you are right now?
Of course. For me, I've always said that I am a product of everyone around me, my peers. I would consider my peers my mentor too, because even if they're not into the same industry I am, one way or another, they have inspired me. And not only do I have my peers, my friends, realtors, other loan officers inspiring me, but I did have, or I still do, I have many coaches, many mentors. I have a marketing coach I'm currently working with who has inspired me to start making videos, because I never spoke on camera. And I think that's how we met, from one of my videos, right?
Yes.
So yes, so I have a marketing coach, and I also have a team leader and mentor that mentors me, as far as how to move, how to make decisions in the business, and how to strategize and things like that. So definitely, I have a business coach as well as a marketing coach. And I have lots of positive people around me to inspire me. And I am a student of life. So I'm always asking questions. I'm always like, how do you do that? Okay, well, maybe I'll try that. So yeah, definitely get a coach and definitely be open to change, because that's something I kind of struggled with when I first started.
So how should people choose who they're getting mentored by or who they getting services from? Because I know a lot of people who feel like they just want to do whatever they want. They just want to start a business and do what they know. They are either scared to ask for help, or they don't want to pay anybody to teach them what that person already know. Like, how do you go about choosing who you work with and who you buy services from?
For me, I would say that, has the person gained the success that you would want or more? That's how I would look at it. Because you can't tell. No, I'm not a do as I say. No, hold on, wait. Hold on. I learn from example. You understand?
Yes.
It's not do as I say, but do as I do. You know? So like, if you're doing it and you're getting success from it, I'm sure if you have a model that works for you, even if I make it my own, I would want to follow that model. Do you understand? So, because for me, I was big on that, because with my mentor, she is successful. She is doing mortgages. So, she always made it, here's what I did. You can implement your own style to it and make it your own, but this is what I did. So for me, if you are doing it and you are successful, I don't see why I wouldn't want to follow that model.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So, business-wise, or with your career, what's next, or what are you working on right now that could be of interest for our listeners?
Well, like I said, I just started to do more educational videos, and it seems like my followers and my clients, sometimes I even send my clients like, oh, you have a question about that? Go watch this video. So I plan on doing more of those. And I also have, plans to do more. I'm actually doing more business in Atlanta, Georgia right now. I have a realtor that I'm actually partnered with, and we're doing great things with marketing and things like that. So that's something that I've been focusing on lately, and just working hard and strategizing and helping clients, just closing deals.
Nice. Then for the real estate market or the mortgage market, where do you see the market going in the next 5 years? What do you think is going to happen
in the next 5 years?
Yes.
Well, and I would say in the next 5 years, I think things will be leveled, and I think that offers will continue to be accepted, and I think that the interest rate, based on what experts are saying, this interest rates should be a little lower than they actually are right now. So I think that offers will be accepted, and sellers will still sell, but it probably won't be as crazy as it was a few months ago. So I think buyers will be able to afford their dream homes.
So you think it's going to be a buyer's market again?
Not a buyer's market. But I think my buyers are going to have an opportunity to get their dream homes. And we're going to have some refinances. I hope so, for the people who actually purchased, who has been purchased now. But that's how I see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I hope my predictions are right.
I know it's a whole different market, right? For real estate investors, you have people that are looking just for a place to stay, and you have people that are looking to make a business, that are making a business out of it, getting their own type of mortgages to buy properties and rent them to others. Do you deal with investors also, or do you deal just with residential real estate buyers?
No, I definitely deal with investors. We have investment loans. We do some second homes too. So yeah, I definitely deal with them.
Okay, so someone who's never done real estate investing before and they are interested in getting into it, like, can they get with you so they can learn what are available to them, or is there something else they need to do first before they can talk to you?
No, like they can definitely reach out with any questions in regards to an investment loan. We have different types of loans that we actually offer to investors. We have a DSR loan, and we have bank statement loans for entrepreneur. Yeah, for entrepreneurship. So if you are an entrepreneur and you've never or you didn't file your taxes, it's no problems. We can use the bank statement loan to qualify you for a loan. And what we do is that we use 12 months or 24 months to qualify you based on your cash flow. So it's something that a lot of entrepreneur can benefit from. So yeah, definitely.
Amazing. Awesome. So you hear it. If you're interested in doing real estate investing, hey, that's the right person to talk to. So that's all the questions I have for you about real estate mortgages. But now we're going to jump into another part of the podcast, which is our rapid fire questions, and kind of like the icebreakers. This is going to help our listeners to even get to know you a little bit more, since we're getting to the end of the podcast. So it's a series of questions. It's 8 to 10 questions that I'm going to ask you. You can answer using either one word or one phrase, and you don't get to explain your answer, okay?
I'm the queen of explaining.
Yeah, you don't get to explain why. That is your answer.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay. What is your deepest fear?
Death.
No explanation needed.
No, it's no explanation, right?
Yeah, no explanation. No. What is your biggest flaw?
I have a few.
The biggest one.
Biggest one. Biggest one. I can be stubborn.
Okay. Which moment would you most like to do a do-over of? What part of your life?
A few. Oh my God, just one? Just
one.
I would say giving birth to my kids, but I have two. My wedding day. My wedding day.
Your wedding day. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not asking why. You're not asking why.
Yeah.
And if given the chance to start your life over, would you take it?
Oh my God, I would. And I would rock it this time.
Second chance, huh?
Yeah.
Would you rather have regrets about actions or regrets about inactions?
Oh no, regrets about actions. Let's do it.
Yes, let's get it done. And how do you want the loved ones to remember you? Like, what do you want them to know you by?
Know me by someone who's not always okay. And I think that's how I am overall. Like, I'm not always available, but when you need me the most, I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is a lesson that took you a long time to learn?
A lesson that took me a long time to learn. That in order to achieve success, you have to do things differently. You cannot make the same decision and expect a different outcome. So you have to be open to changes in order to reach your next level. So your next level is right when you start making the changes that needs to be changed. That needs to be done by you. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yes.
So you have to change to gain new success, basically.
Okay.
Yes.
Looks like you got it. You got it now. And here's the last question. What is one missed opportunity that you wish you could have had a second chance at?
I don't think I have any.
Okay. Good.
What's mine is mine.
Good. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all the questions that I had for you in our rapid fire question session. And I hope
you make me nervous with these sections. Like,
I hope this has helped our listeners and our viewers to know a little bit more about you. I want to thank you a lot for taking your time to do this episode today. Did you have any questions for me or anything else you wanted to add to this podcast before we end?
No, I think you guys are doing an amazing job by educating your listeners and your viewers. So, keep doing your thing. I know sometimes being an entrepreneur and we get busy, and this takes a lot of investment, time invested in it. So continue to do that. Keep going.
Awesome.
Your listeners are lucky to have you.
They're even luckier to have you on this episode. So they're learning a lot, and I'm hoping that some of them will contact you if they're interested in either buying their first home or buying an investment properties, or just getting some insights and advices about, entrepreneurship in general.
Sure.
I know Sophia is your person. All the links and social media handles will be in the descriptions in that podcast, wherever you're listening to that podcast. And if you have any questions or any subjects that you want us to talk about, feel free to leave a comment either on IG or on YouTube. Thank you again for listening, guys, and you have a wonderful day.
All righty.
That's a wrap for this episode.
Thank you so much.
We're excited for more. Thank you for checking out Keys to the Coin with Dr. Paul Etienne. Stay connected via madboo.com and on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook with the username madboocom as we continue to unravel the financial world with tips, insights, know-how, and more. Download our app, MadBoo Max, for insights, news, free stocks, and financial tools. As always, we hope you learned something useful from this episode. On your way to creating your financial path, live a productive, debt-free life, and ultimately gain confidence in every coin.